Good news, good people, good life. Los Banos today.
Good morning. I'm Brucey Rivers. You're watching Los Banos Today. Los Banos Today is brought to you by Santos Ford, the Central Valley's king of trucks. Call them today at 209-826-4921. Let me say that again, 209-826-4921. You can find them located at 617 West Pacheco Boulevard. Don't forget that name, Santos Ford, the Valley's king of trucks. We're here live again this morning, and I know we lost some of you when you didn't hear anything, but it was something going on in here, and if you'd heard all the noise that we were moving everything around, it would have been frightening. But we want you to know we had to reset the stage and bring some more people in. You see, this is probably our biggest crowd we've had on the stage as of late. So call all your friends, tell them to tune back in. We're live again, and if you can hear me, that you know we're live, you can hear me. I'm Bruce Rivers. You're at the Los Banos Today, the morning show here in the LB. That's what I call it, in the Big Valley in Cali. And I've got with me, Mr. Jim Orr. It is Jim, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, Mr. Jim Orr, O-R-R, and he's here with the Honor Flight, and he's going to explain everything because I'm going to get up on it. I got my notes here, but it's better to hear it from the proverbial horse's mouth, as they say. And so Jim's going to introduce everybody here. We're honored to have you. Let me do what we do, reach out and touch everybody this morning. Got the birthday guy there. We'll talk about that in a minute. Oh, yeah, you can't give me no information like that. And we'll probably even sing a bar or two, you know. But Jim, tell us introduce everybody and then tell us why we're here.
I would be happy to. We are all members of the Central Valley Honor Flight Los Banos Division. I'd like to introduce to you the birthday boy, Mr. Don Baker, who happens to be one of the co-chairs. But it is Don's birthday today, and anybody that happens to see him out and about, he's going to be a busy man at a dinner this afternoon. So if you do happen to see him, make sure you wish our co-chair, Don Baker, a very happy birthday. We brought two students from Los Banos High School as well.
Yay!
We have Corey Lee Fulaski and we have Sophia Castro, two students that have been very involved with the Honor Flight as well. Just a little bit of history about the Central Valley Honor Flight. A former Los Banos student by the name of Paul Leffler. A number of you might know Paul or know of Paul. He happens to be the voice of the Fresno State Bulldogs. He announces their football games, their baseball games, as well as their basketball games. And he, at one time, was the sports director at Channel 47. Well, while he was at Channel 47, he became extremely passionate about Honor Flight. And he was very passionate prior to that, but he did a version every weekend on Valley Veterans, and he became very, very involved. And with his passion and with his vision, he brought the Honor Flight program to the Central Valley.
Wow.
Between Bakersfield and our area. Okay? So what happens there is that we are a fundraising group, strictly a fundraising group for the Central Valley Honor Flight. In the Central Valley yeah, we're live. What it allows is Central Valley veterans, it's an application process for an all-expense-paid trip back to Washington, D.C. To visit their particular war memorials.
Ooh, okay.
Okay? Well, I just happened to be watching television one day, and I saw the dates of the Central Valley group that was going to be back in Washington, D.C. in the fall, in the month of October. Well, guess what? That happens to be the month and the exact dates that our local Los Banos FFA group goes back to Indianapolis to the National FFA Convention, as well as visits Washington, D.C. at the same time. We were there. We were there at exactly the same time. the Central Valley group arrived. And we met them. We actually donated their wreath that they could put at the Arlington National Cemetery at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And we met them at the Naval Memorial. And what a feeling that happened to be. I mean, it was extremely, extremely touching. Don was not on that particular trip, but one of our other partners by the name of Jason Bretz, who is also one of the co-chairs for the fundraiser, he was there. And we all looked at each other as we were wiping tears from our eyes. When they got back on the bus, we have to do something. And Jason said, we're going to put on a dinner. Okay, so we did. We got Mr. Baker, the birthday boy, involved, and he jumped right in. And I'll enjoy it very much, yeah. If you know Don, he's the greatest guy in the world, but boy, can we have plenty of things to say and do for Don. Okay, so we got Don involved, and with Bretz's vision, Don Baker's vision, they contacted the local American Legion and the Veterans of Foreign Wars. We got them involved in the project. We reached out to the Los Banos Ag Boosters. We got them involved in the project. And we took off. This is going to be our second year of presenting a check to the Central Valley Group. We're going to be doing that on Wednesday, May the 9th at the Fresno Airport when one of the groups comes back from Washington, D.C. at that time.
Wow.
Okay? Now, I told you this is the birthday boy and we like to do a lot of things, but this Mr. Baker right here, he actually had the opportunity to present the first check along with Corey Lee at the Fresno State baseball game. But what you don't know is that he threw out the first pitch on that particular evening. And there wasn't any scouts that approached him afterwards, but there's been a lot of people talk about him ever since. As he was warming up in the bullpen behind the bleachers, he threw two of them over the 8-foot-high screen fence. But we got him warmed up, and he represented us very nicely. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Baker for a moment and let him kind of explain to you some of the feelings that may or emotions that may have come out of here before I turn it over to the ladies and gentlemen.
Have at it. Do your thing.
Jeez. What are you going to say here?
I don't know. I don't have enough cord.
When I was approached, when they got back, and they came to me and asked me, "Hey, we need to do this," and of course I was on board. I mean, to help our veterans out, to help out with the cost and everything. I believe they go for 3 days. They take a companion with them, either a family member or friend or something like that. Either they're in a wheelchair or something like that to help them around. They go to different monuments and stuff like that. Just to hear that and then also see it. I was just back in Kansas City, Missouri, and there was another group there that was going on the trip, and just to see everybody. I mean, there was like 30, 40 people there helping that group out. But I mean, it's a great cause. It's great to, our veterans were there for us. To see all that and be able to be part of that and raise money, and with the community of Los Banos and surrounding towns to help out with this. I mean, it's just awesome. It's a great cause program. I mean, it was just awesome.
Let me jump in here. I'm a son of a veteran. My dad's a 30-year Navy man. Him and my mother, actually, the remains are right out here at Santanella. And you get emotional in times like this when you think about what these men and women have sacrificed for us. And this is just good stuff. I've been to all the memorials. That one where they got the soldiers walking through the field. Mm-hmm. That Vietnam one, that's touching, and all those different places. And when you stand there and you think about the costs, it's a cost serving, it's a cost protecting, and I want to salute everybody, by taking off my fedora and salute every veteran that's out there. Had it not been for your contributions, where would we be in this country right now? I'm really full right now, really understanding this honor flight. And I know we're going to show you the check that's being presented. But before I turn it over to the ladies, tell us how we can continue to donate.
Well, that's a great question, Bruce, and I appreciate that opportunity. This past fall, we put the word out to different friends and organizations throughout the town. We had donations from local people, businesses, etc. Money came in from Get a Load of This, and I wrote it down because the word got out. Los Banos came out of their shoes to help out the best they possibly could. We had money come in from Merced. We had money come in from Turlock. We had money come in from Santa Rosa, from the city of Escalon, Madera. But a former student of mine who happened to see on Facebook from San Antonio, Texas, sent us checks, which paid for 100% of all of our expenses before we ever sold a ticket. So every ticket that was sold, Bruce, was 100% profit. Okay? We sold 1,905 tickets at $10 a piece. We served...
Somebody say.
Yeah, really. And we served 1,854 meals that evening. Any of our leftovers went straight to the Manna Ministries here in town to help feed any of the homeless people that happen to be here. So we have become extremely passionate with this, Bruce. This is something that's not going to be a 1 or 2 year thing. This is something that we're going to do until I know Don and I and the next group of FFA members that come through in a year or 2 or 3, they're going to be a part of this.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm in to help any way I can. I love social media, and I use it as a great tool. So as I sit here, if you see me doing something, I'm inviting as many of my 5,000 friends and 6,000 followers to come on right now and put something in. Come and see what's going on. Now, is there a website?
We don't have a website. We use the Los Banos Ag Boosters account, which they do have a P.O. box here in town. It's P.O. Box 731. 731. Don's getting a little bit old with his birthday today. It's actually P.O. Box 731, Los Banos. And at the bottom of the check, write Honor Flight. And we have a separate account set up within the Los Banos Ag Boosters. And any funding that comes in, I guarantee you that 100% of that money will be utilized towards these veterans. It cost a little over $2,000 per veteran to send back to D.C. for that 3 days. Right. And last year we donated $20,000. Today you'll see the check for an additional $20,000. So that'll be $40,000 coming from our community and surrounding areas specifically for our veterans that we want to send back to D.C.
So far.
That's just the start.
Don't stop.
That's right.
Right now, even at this opportunity right now on Los Banos today, if you need to call in, 831-333-6620. If you feel like you want to participate in this, we're gonna have an article that'll be with it. We'll have all the information for you to participate at any level. So if you're here in this community, we've got a national cemetery not far from here, about five point something miles away, over in the Santanella area, Gustine area. And like I said, I go out there, I do wreaths across America. I've done a lot of that stuff myself. Got plenty of veterans in my family. If you lived here any length of time, somebody you know has probably served this country, male or female, and this thing. So we want you to, this is a great thing. You want to give? You want to be a giver? Come on and give to this great program. We're getting ready to introduce these two lovely young ladies over here that work within this program, and I'm just going to pass the mic to them. Now, don't be shy. You tell us where you go to school, tell us your name, and tell us how long you've been involved in the honor flight. Sophia, you go first.
My name is Sophia Castro, and I'm a 12th grader at Los Banos High School. And in terms of the honor flight, last year I was able to serve our Los Banos FFA chapter as FFA chapter reporter, in which I was in charge of the social media accounts and basically getting the honor flight out there in terms of our FFA members, contacting places like the Merced Farm Bureau and KC24. And at first I was apprehensive to contact all of these, places that they run large stories. However, they were really passionate about the honor flight, and I think that was really important because we're able to get the word out so quickly, and how our local papers and our local news outlets were able to be so accommodating of the Los Banos FFA, which I think that really impacted our turnout for the dinner itself.
She's special. Woo, come on, Corey. Talk to me.
Well, I'm Corey Lee Pulaski. I am a 12th grader at Los Banos High School. Last year I had the opportunity of serving as our chapter treasurer, and so I worked with the money aspect of raising for the honor flight. My mom is an ag teacher at Los Banos High School, Sonia Pulaski, and so I worked closely with her and our other ag teachers with tickets and passing out everything and making sure everything was run right and making sure everything was ready for the dinner. It was a special moment. My grandpa's a veteran of Vietnam War, and so to be able to help the people who brought us here today and be able to help them for who have sacrificed for us has really made an impact on me and the whole chapter as a whole.
Come on, y'all, clap real loud for these two awesome young ladies. I got a real studio audience today. I told Dave we're going to have to get us a clap track, and so as we progress. Los Banos today is very proud of you two young ladies. You're a credit to the community, and you're getting volunteerism, and you do the social media thing. We may have to come by and have you volunteer around here as we continue to grow. I'm kind of overwhelmed at the moment. Like I said, remembering my dad and all the veterans. And people tell me, said, don't cry on TV, man. But I'm an emotional guy. And what I'm hearing, if you've never heard of this before, I heard the terminology, but I'm living the moment right now, understanding how important this really is. I think, Jim, and listen, do like Jim did. Don't wait for us to contact you about what you're doing. If you're watching the show and you got friends doing something, whether it's philanthropic like this, whether it's entrepreneurial, whether it's something especially dealing with our young people here in this community, this is your show. This is Los Banos Today. This is who we are. We don't have to worry about nobody else coming in to film when something bad happens or whatever. Looking for some good happening? Look right here. Looking for some excellent stuff happening? Looking for some excellent teaching going on in our community? Look right here. We're going to be off the scene one day. So while we're on the scene, we're going to get other people to join in on this. I want to do something now. You hold that.
Certainly.
I'm going to take this. I want to hold this up. I'm going to hold it up right here in front of me so you can see it. Anybody see that? You see that right there? Read that. Somebody read that to me. Corey, read this. Read this. Tell us what it says.
This is a check paid to the order of the Central Valley Community Foundation in amount of $20,000 from our Los Banos Ag Boosters.
This is already paid for. Already paid for. But you can keep giving for this project. We want to take as many people as we can. And then go into next year. Let's fill up let's get a charter jet. Fill up the plane and take them all into DC and let them go. And I've got some connections in DC. I don't know, what do they do while they're there, Jim, other than to visit the memorials?
It's a nonstop situation from the time they leave Fresno International Airport to the time they arrive in DC. Once they are there, they visit every single memorial that any of the veterans are part of. They're going to see that particular memorial, regardless if it's Marines, Naval, Army, etc. They meet with some of our congressmen as well as assemblymen and back in D.C. It's a nonstop 2.5-day trip. I mean, from early mornings to late at night. All their meals are paid for. Their transportation's paid for. They have their own charter buses. They have their own medical staff on board, because these particular ladies and gentlemen are not exactly young and healthy in some cases. I mean, a number of them are in wheelchairs. And so they have other people that go along with them as their chaperone, if you will. Make sure that their wheelchairs are where they need to be, gets them where they need to be in timely manners. What was so touching to me is I was standing along with 30-plus other people from Los Banos area at the Naval Memorial waiting for them to arrive. And I heard sirens and sirens and sirens, and I was, what is going on in the district? Because every 10 minutes you'll hear a siren, but it stops after a short period of time. And I couldn't figure out what all this noise was about, because I've been there over 20 times myself. And I finally turned around, and here they were. They had police escorts in front of them. They had police escorts behind them, and they were going through stoplights all through the district to get them from point to point in a timely manner. Not only that, but they have police escorts from the airport in Baltimore where they land all the way to D.C. And if any of you happen to catch any of the Honor Flight video that they put on just this past flight, they were doing live feeds on Facebook at that time, and it was very touching to see the police escorts with their sirens on and traffic on a 4-lane freeway pulling over as the buses went right down through the middle, so that they would get from the airport to D.C. In 35 minutes, as opposed to an hour and 35 minutes if they were stuck in traffic. It was just so touching. And I mean touching, they pull them right up to to each one of the memorials so that they don't have to walk. The Arlington Cemetery one, that's a long, treacherous walk for people like myself that are grossly overweight. And fortunately, they open the gates and they drive right to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. It was just extremely touching for a person my age, who was Vietnam era age, to see and watch and be a part of. And that's why Don and myself and Jason Bretz are so passionate about this program. Paul Leffler in Fresno, he was the one that got this whole thing started for the Valley, and he's a Los Banos boy. And his grandfather was my medical doctor. His great uncle was our veterinarian here in town. And Paul's just been a total success. His entire family's been a total success and just brought so much to our Valley. We can't say enough for him as well.
Let me jump back in. Ladies and gentlemen, you're with Los Banos today. I'm Bruce Rivers. I'm the host, and we're honored today to have the Honor Flight here, our local chapter. Now, what time of year does this go? Is it once a year? Do they go? When do they go?
Three honor flights a year are scheduled. One just was completed last month, in the month of April, of which 2 Los Banos veterans were able to be a part of that particular trip. There is another one scheduled for the second week of May. They will be returning actually on Wednesday, May the 9th, and that's the day that we will meet them at the Fresno airport and give them their second check. And then the third one for the year will be in the month of October. And unfortunately, our National Convention Washington, D.C. trip is not going to catch them this particular year because they're going to be in early October. We're not going to be until late October. So they'll have 3 a year. And each one of those trips costs right in the $200,000 range to send each trip back east. So ours is a small part, but at the same time, this is 10 veterans that are going to be able to be a part of that at no cost out of their pocket.
Well, depending upon the date, I'll be in October myself. I'll be in D.C. I travel frequently. I work in public policy and a lot of things in D.C. And I know your day is already packed, but if they want to ever squeeze any more stuff in to visit some of the other places like the Heritage Foundation, Capitol Hill Club, different places that are available to go see. I've got some juice in D.C. I actually got an apartment I stay in right on Pennsylvania, right next to the Navy Archives. That's where I stay. Yeah, now, right on Pennsylvania. So I've been there when those sirens go by and the beast goes by and everything stops. You can't cross the street. So I've seen all that. But what an honor to have our veterans stop everything. In the hustle and bustle in our nation's capital, where we honor these valuable men and women that have served our country. I got a grandson now that's just finished boot camp, and he's in Virginia going through AIT. So, and I know a plethora, and in these my years, I grew up next to military. My dad was service. I've been Fort Ord and Navy Postgraduate School, Charleston, Mayport. I've been around military all my life as a military brat, as they say. But I'm grateful for Jim coming in, bringing in these two lovely young ladies. And Sophia, who's that lady in the audience over there?
My grandma.
That's your grandma? Yeah. Grandma's off camera, but we want to make sure we acknowledge her. And her name? Other than grandma, you call her grandma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Delia.
Delia, thank you for being here. Come on, studio audience. Let's give her a big round of applause. Once again, I'm going to let Jim tell you how to reach them, how to get in touch. The giving should be going on right now. You should be, if you're watching this show, you should be calling in and donating to a worthy cause. It's not just here, but it's nationally. And so we're national right now. With the beauty of the internet, we can go where we want to go and talk to different people. So as we get ready to close, I thank all of you for being here. I'm going to let Jim tell you exactly how to reach him one more time, or Mr. Baker tell you how to reach him one more time. I have to call him Mr. Baker now. It's his birthday. Tell you how to reach the honor flight, and then I got one more thing to do. So tell us one more time.
First, before I forget, Bruce, thank you very much for the opportunity. We can be reached at Los Banos Ag Boosters. The P.O. Box number is 731, Los Banos, California. And just at the bottom of your check, and it could be $5, it could be $10, it could be $20, it could be what you can afford. At the bottom of your check, just write honor flight. And from the bottom of our heart, I know Dawn and I are passionate about this, as well as the students at Los Banos High School and Pacheco High School. We are passionate about it, and this is going to be a long-term situation for our community. We feel that passionate about this, and please mail your checks. We intend to, I'll go ahead and say it right now on public forum. $20,000 last year, $20,000 this year. We intend to make that $25,000 to $27,500 next year. That's our goal. We set goals for ourselves, Bruce. If we have to set goals for kids, and kids have to set goals for themselves. We've set a goal for Honor Flight to break the $25,000 range, and hopefully we can do that. And with your help, I know we can. And when our next meal comes around, which will be March 13th of 2019, we want to be able to serve over 2,000 meals minimum.
And Los Banos Today will be there live on that day as you serve. Now, you seniors, what you going to do after high school?
That was a great question.
Next fall, I will be attending UC Santa Barbara, where I'll be majoring in environmental policy and communications.
Go ahead. Give her that mic. I'm excited about that.
This coming fall, I plan to attend Modesto Junior College with a major in agriculture education with an associate's in animal science.
Woo! Let me tell you something. That's higher education is what it's all about. I had a nephew who graduated from the Gauchos. He's in the NBA right now. So, you know, these connections are really, really, I'm just so proud of you. I got chills. I got chills going on right now. These young ladies, you are a credit to our community and more young people that can see you right now. I hope you're doing this. Ag is a big part of what happens in the LB. We got a new show coming on called Meet the Farmer. I think we've already been in contact with Mr. Joe Del Bosque, one of the largest farmers in the area. So I have to say everything in the show to help you understand. These are the people that are going to help us reach that 25,000. I'm like, let me see. Let's do some quick math. If we get 1,000 people to give $5, that's $5,000. Twos and fews make fours and mores. Did I say that right? Every two and few make four and more. So it's simple math, y'all. Simple math. Numbers make this thing. It takes teamwork to make the dream work, as they say. And so we want to make that 25,000 so that when we hit the 25,000, we just go to 30. Exactly. To 40, to wherever we got to go. It's on you, Los Banos. Today, we're asking you to come and be a part of something that's noble, something that's honorable, and all them other words that go in that group. But we are grateful today for the was it Central Valley, Los Banos? What is it?
It's called the Central Valley Honor Flight.
Central Valley.
From here to Bakersfield, but we have set up our own little thing here in Los Banos, and other communities that do this as well. Okay. But we've set this up in Los Banos, and our check goes directly into the general account, but we're passionate about it. We're very passionate about it. But just for a moment, Bruce, I hope, just yesterday I had the opportunity to interview both these girls for scholarships. Okay, and that's when I found out a little bit more about Sophia that I didn't know. I knew a lot about, and Corey Lee, of course. I've known her since she was just a baby, an infant. And that's when I found out that she's passionate about Grandma, because she talked about Grandma during her scholarship interview just yesterday. And that lady that happens to be here present with us today has really played a big role in Sophia's life, and she's a great, great young lady. Corey Lee is probably the most humble person you've ever met in your life. Corey Lee just now returned from the reason that we're here today. Corey Lee just returned from the California State FFA Convention, where she was a finalist for a state scholarship. Not only, but she was also named the state proficiency winner in swine production. She has a job out here at one of the pig farms where she is the manager already. Wow. And both girls very humble, very sweet, hardworking, both of them over 4.0 GPAs, and we can't be more proud of them than two of them.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. This whole thing. Look, we got a spirit of excellence here in the LB. The spirit of excellence to I say it, and and I talk about my church. There's a word that says you ought to encourage each other while it's called today. Tomorrow's not promised. So while it's called today, we lift people up. That's what this honor flight and all this other thing. We lift people to a better standard. And you two are the tip of the spear right now, as far as the tip of the and you really are humble. You don't have to toot your own horn. You let other people toot your horn. I'm gonna blow the beep beep. I'm blowing the horn for you right now, thanking you for what you're doing, not only for yourselves, but giving is important in our lives. And you give of your time, you give of your efforts. I know how Grandma, because I got grandkids too, and I know how proud I am of mine that they're doing some things. And some people take for granted this, once again, this is an ag community. I mean, that's what we do. We're in the big valley in Cali. The four men that helped build this valley, Henry Miller, Leland Stanford, the Crocker family, and Hugh Tevis. They brought the railroad in. They brought all these aqueducts in. They brought all this stuff in to make this place in this high desert fertile soil and growing all this stuff and livestock. We honor Corey and Sophia today for your hard work. Don't give up. Congratulations on that job. We got to go. We got another show coming in, but I want to do this right quick. Already? On three. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Baker. Happy birthday, Mr. Baker. Happy birthday to you. Yay! Yeah. You get to come back. That's the best. That's the best thing about Los Banos. Los Banos today. Jim is on a wind-up today. We're grateful for all of y'all coming in today. I just saw one of my other co-hosts, Josh, came in, and we're volunteering here to make our community better. Just talking to people, letting people know what we're doing. Los Banos Today is your show. You got a small business, medium business, large business, philanthropic organization, FFAs, all the stuff going on that we know going on. We need to know about our fairs on the way coming in. I'll give me a little plugs while you guys are sitting here before we go. Our Los Banos Fair is coming in. That fair starts all the fairs in the state of California. That's true. Did you know that? When they leave here, the Merced Fair, the LA Fair, this county fair, it begins in Los Banos every year. We are more than just the gateway to the valley. We're the gateway to a lot of things. We're gateway to the tomato production. We've got great parks around the bird parks and the national parks. We got a national cemetery over there for our veterans. We got the Wreath program, Wreaths Across America. There's so much going on that a lot of times we don't get to hear about, but we get to hear about it now because we're live. We're live on Los Banos Today. I'm Bruce Rivers. Josh is over there, and we got the blueprint, the man that put it all together, Mr. Dave Hogue. We are grateful today for the Central Valley Honor Flight, and as we say, see you in a minute, thank you for tuning in. God bless. Have a good day.
Good news, good people, good
Woo.
life. Los Banos today.
Y'all powerhouses. Y'all powerhouses. Y'all power. This is too good to me. I apologize for